Good day, valued viewers, and welcome to a quick edition of the Independent Mail. Now, I know a lot of you guys are eagerly awaiting March Madness next month.
Dipsy-doo, Dunkaroo! Booyah! Booyah! Booyah!
But I'm excited about the February frenzy of high-profile court cases going down this month.
The first voice you're going to hear is Chief Justice John Roberts, who's going to sort of call the court into argument.
And none's more monumental than the U.S. Supreme Court deciding whether to overturn or uphold the Colorado Supreme Court's decision to keep Donald J. Trump off their 2024 presidential ballot. Oral arguments begin today. Let's take a look at what that looks like. Before I get too deep in the weeds on all of this, let's take a look at the Supreme Court and what it is that they do. The current makeup of the highest court in the land is the life's work of the Grim Reaper, Mitch McConnell. If you don't know how he played the Dems to shape the courts for the foreseeable future, that's another video. Contrary to what some believe, the Supreme Court does not try cases. When a case is elevated to the Supreme Court, they aren't retrying the case. Instead, they're trying to decide if the law that was used to determine the case in the lower courts was applicable and interpreted it correctly.
What's also interesting about these Supreme Court arguments is that formally, it's a conversation between the lawyers and the justices. But sort of informally and more meaningfully, the 9 justices are often actually talking to each other, because often these oral arguments are actually the first time that the justices are getting together as a group to talk about the case.
Most of us believe that the High Court will end up overturning the Colorado Supreme Court ruling, but I'm curious as to see what the justices end up citing as the reason. Okay, we've all been hearing about the illustrious 14-3, and what I mean by that is the 14th Amendment, Section 3. Let's take a look at it right quick. In a nutshell, this is what the Colorado Supreme Court's decision was based off of. Section 3 of the 14th Amendment provides that no person who has previously held high office may serve in such office again if they have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the Constitution. Now, the Trump defense team, I thought that they would attack the angle of the process at the Colorado Supreme Court, meaning that they weren't able to administer any evidence on their behalf. So I thought that they would go on a technicality approach at the Supreme Court level, or I thought they would have the approach that Donald Trump was not actually found to be guilty of insurrection, because almost the only way he could have been held accountable for it or charged with it was through Congress in the impeachment process. And of course, we know the Republicans failed to do that. But this is what I found interesting. His team actually didn't attack those two issues at all. They actually went to a definition. Let me check it out for you. All right. Here's the Trump's team's primary argument for staying on the ballot. The 14th Amendment uses the term officer of the United States to describe former officials who are disqualified from serving after engaging in an insurrection. Trump makes an extraordinary argument that the president, the highest ranking office holder in the United States and commander-in-chief of its military, does not qualify as an officer of the United States. All right. We're going to see how that argument plays out because 2-2 may end up coming up. And what I mean by 2-2, Constitution, Article 2, Section 2. And it reads, the president shall be commander-in-chief of the Army and the Navy of the United States and of its militia of several states when called into actual service to the United States. Commander-in-chief of the Army and the Navy. That would be the commanding officer. All right, valued viewers, you guys let me know what you think. Do you think the U.S. Supreme Court is going to end up overturning or upholding the Colorado Supreme Court ruling? And also, do you think the Trump team's decision to focus on the word officer was the best tactic? Until next time, peace and stay informed.